What's up, guys? Welcome back to episode 2 of the podcast. Um, Here we talk about teenage love and teenage experiences, and I'm here with my co-host Ryan Nels. Say what's up to the people, Nels.
What's up?
I always been that type of kid to find somebody better than leave her cause of all the
All right,
pressure.
so today we're leaving off yesterday or last episode, I should say. Um, Talking about middle school and how we kind of learn how we learn to navigate and had our young relationships, or I wouldn't say that middle school things is what we said. uh so now we're moving on to high school, and wow, high school from the start was crazy. It was a lot happened, and we're seniors now and we're going to the end of our high school, and there's no way you can prepare for this. You can't prepare for relationships. You can't prepare for the heartbreaks. You can't prepare for, what. Yeah. So you know, high school is high school. We had some ups and downs. Nothing you can prepare for. But we have some experiences that we like to talk about. But like I always say, Brian, can you give like an overview of your high school relationships? How would you describe it in a few words, if you will?
Well, I mean, if I were to describe that topic, then I'd honestly say with one word, and that's just interesting. Just from all of what I have experienced during my 4 years of high school, now being a senior, I'm just gonna have to say the whole ordeal was interesting.
All right, so we got some stories we'd like to tell. I guess I'll go first. Well, it will project to Brian, but me and him, as you know, we go to different high schools, so it is a different set of girls. Like our school, he goes to a Catholic school, and I go to like a charter school, so like the girls are very different in their own ways. But there's this one girl that I thought was perfect for Brian, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna put him on. And I don't remember exactly. I think I gave her your snap, or you found her on Insta. Like, what do you remember?
It was something, I think it was something like "Give Me Your Snap." I think
Yeah, and
it's been a while.
she was like his type. Like she was his type in a way. And if I could describe her, and Brian doesn't agree with me on this. She reminds me of like a young version of Addison Ray. Like like our age Addison Ray. That's what she looks like to me. That's the best way I could describe her. If you guys like want a general idea of what she looks like Addison Ray. So I put them on, and so I'm gonna say her name was Addison because she looked like Addison Ray. So Addison never really told me what was going on between the two of them. So it was kind of like broad in terms of, oh, how you and Brian doing, da 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 da, and straight up answer was like, oh, we're fine. And I'm gonna leave the rest of the story to him because it's not my story to tell. I can only tell the beginning. But I just want to describe her, Addison Ray, in a nutshell. Well, go ahead.
So me and this girl, after James hooked me up, this was freshman year, of course. And I think I had just gotten out of a previous relationship, and I was talking to this girl that James hooked me up with, and technically, I think it went pretty well at the start. We talked a lot and such, and then we decided to go on our first date, which we ended up going to the movie theater, and we went to go see the movie Love, Simon, as I can recall. And so, which it was
Tell
obviously
tell him tell him what you brought on the date.
so you see, a little freshman me, I decided to bring a sling bag with me on the first day to carry my coat in.
And
And
side note, when she refers to Brian to her friend, she says the backpack kid. You may continue.
yeah, and so, on that first date, I met her parents, met her dad, met her mom. And then we went off, and I was just like, hopefully this turns to a good night. And we watched the movie. Being the awkward freshman that I was, I didn't really know what to do for the most part, except just try to at least make her have a good time. I think I remember I paid for her too for the first time. And pretty much, after the movie was over, I think we like parted our separate ways after the movie was done. And that night, I was like, telling James like, oh yeah, I went like this and that. And apparently afterwards, I got a text from her. And this text wasn't something that I exactly wanted to see. And if there's one thing that me and James would refer this text to, we refer to as the grieving text. If you know what I mean, James.
The grieving text?
Yeah.
The graven or grieving?
I think it might be grieving.
Okay.
But
Are you referring to a person?
yes.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about, but go ahead.
Yeah. No, it's been a while. But anyways, with that, it was technically how it went. She sent me a text and just said this couldn't work out, and technically left me that night. And I was just like, wow. And then events followed after. I think I remember I was in my basement playing soccer, and that was just it was an interesting night that night.
So to back onto what he was saying, and this, and you can go off of this. You can find the most prettiest girl, cutest girl, your type, whatever, and the the fact that you had the experience to go on a date, which was probably one of your first dates. I could be wrong, but it was on your first dates, and something you gotta always take from certain things like that is a lesson, right? What I could have done differently, and you can't go at it as, oh, you're being stubborn and be like, oh, I did nothing wrong, right? Think of it like maybe it just didn't work out, and at the end of the day, like there's I'm you gotta be sensitive. Like I'm glad I was able to go on a date with her because I can say now, oh, I went on a date with Addison, and I know now. I rather know that it didn't work out than actually not knowing if it didn't. Right? Brian took the chance and said, I'm gonna ask her on a date, and it actually happened. I rather live on and know that it didn't work out with me trying than without me trying. It's better to put yourself out there. I don't want to live in like regret, wishing, oh, I wish I gave like Ashley a chance, or I wish I wish I went after her, or at least tried to get with her. And like what you should take from that is like I know like it didn't work out, and I tried it. And if people ask me, I just say it just didn't work out. We went on a date and it didn't work out. I'd rather say that than be like, oh, I don't know. I think she'll dub me anyways. You don't know. And so it's a lesson that like for me, like even like myself, I learned, and it sucks. He's my best friend. Like I obviously wanted them to work out, and they didn't. But unfortunately, it didn't. But he knows now it's not going to work. It didn't
But
work.
to kind of add the surprising factor of it is that I think what it will be 2 years later, we ended up talking again and going on about 5 or 6 dates. And then again, after those 5 or 6 dates, it just ended abruptly, if I were to put it straight.
And girls, and 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 I know she might see this and be like, "Oh, we're kind of trying to say that she's a bad person." No, it's like we do the same thing. We gave that person a chance and it just didn't work out. Addison is a beautiful girl. She has a bright future ahead of her, and she just didn't see Brian a part of it in that way. And so like when we talk about people on this like podcast, we don't like with the girls, we're not bashing them. It's not like we're like like saying that they're a bad person. It just they didn't feel the same way, and that's something you just gotta live with, and you gotta accept. And she just didn't see him a part of her future in that perspective, and you know, it's not like I just share we just share the story. We don't my goal is not to hit any like beef or start any like no no disrespect to her. It's just how it went, and I like to say both sides because they're not here to speak on their behalf. Um, so fast forward to junior year, halfway through junior year, or somewhere around there. Um, I'm on Instagram, and I'm gonna tell you how it started. Brian doesn't really know how it started, but I was on Instagram, and Brian just posted a picture, and I think this is what changed his history. I don't remember what picture it was, but he posted a picture, and he posted like I think when I checked, it had already been up there for like 3 or 5 minutes. And in that time span, it's not a lot of likes. Like you're just putting your post out there, so you're gonna see like for him in his case like 10, 15 likes. So I can see everybody, and I'm nosy. So I looked at his likes, and I seen this girl, and she was just beautiful, like my type. And I was like, wow. I followed her, and she followed me back. So I was like, okay, cool, cool, cool. And I don't remember if she liked my pics or whatever. Um, I hit up Brian. I think I hit him up later that night or a couple days after. I don't remember. I said, "Yo, put me on. What's her number or snap?" And he gave me her snap, and she wanted a picture of me first. She's like, "Yeah, definitely give me a snap." So I was like, "Okay." We started talking, and I don't want to make it a long story. I rather make it a short story because this is what it in a nutshell what it was. Um, she doesn't looking for a boyfriend at that time, unfortunately, and I came at the wrong space, like the wrong time or whatever. And I just feel like I was like, wow, like I had just got over. I think I had recently got over like a really bad breakup. So this was like I would say like quarantine, and I was with somebody for a couple of months. I would say I think like 4 months. So I think December, January, February, March, and then quarantine had started. We broke up like a couple weeks after quarantine, and then I ended up getting with the girl from his school. Started talking to her. I think May or June, April maybe. It was after like we had broken up, and I was like, okay, cool, whatever. I'm about to get right with somebody, and she just didn't want a relationship at the time, and it sucked because I was like, she is beautiful, like, and it's hard, like, and I'm not even lie, like, I don't think on a scale on like of like I feel like I'm not attractive enough compared to other guys. So it's like when you feel like you see this pretty girl and she thinks you're cute, you're like, I have to have her. And I don't know if that's true for you, Brian. I may have a different mindset, but when you're like a girl like that thinks you're cute or whatever, I'm like, wow, okay, cool, cool, cool. It just didn't work out, and I tried, and God knows I tried like 3 times. I tried like 3 different times trying to get with her. It just didn't work out, and she just didn't see me. She might have not seen me in her future, and she's so her and Brian seen each other in the hall. I'm gonna tell them. I'm gonna let you say what happened in the hall. What she said. This is and I quote too. So this is what she said.
I mean, it was very vague, but I was curious. I saw her in the hallway. She said hi to me because I'd say we're kind of friends, and I was curious, so I asked her, "So, how are you and James doing?" And so she just abruptly just smiles and says, "Well, we just didn't work out." And then with that, I was just like, "Oh, okay." And then I went on to my class. Go on, James.
So that it frustrated me a little bit, and something else frustrated me because I had thought I was told that she was getting right with somebody else, and I was I was kind of mad because I was like, and this happened like probably like the beginning of this school year, like this school year, and I'm like, so not once, not twice, but 3 times I tried to get with you, and you said, no, I'm just not ready. but you said that, I was your type or whatever, and blah blah blah. I'm just like, wow. And I come to find out, I don't even think she ended up being right with that person. I don't think that even happened. Yeah, he's saying no. It didn't, but it's frustrating. Like, you find the perfect girl who finds you, all these things, and then she's not ready. And it kind of puts you in an awkward spot because it's like, okay, you tried like more than once. You don't talk to her, and then she's ready to get in a relationship, and she's already in one. And I'm not talking about her. We're not talking. I'm not talking about her, but I'm saying in general. That's kind of how it feels sometimes. It's like, well, I try to get with her, and you're gonna say, oh, you're too late or whatever. That's how it is. And he hooked me up with another girl from our school. She, very talented, uh, musician. Didn't work out. And like I said, I always say to them, I hope the best for you. I hope you get what you. I hope like you achieve what you want. Like, you work hard. I hope you get like. I hope your future is bright. And I always say that to them, regardless of the fact that, you know, they dubbed me in the nutshell. That's basically what it was. They dubbed me, but no like disrespect on their part. So I mean, it's how life goes, I guess. So right, everything to say.
Well, all I'm gonna say is that pretty much as a summary tonight, talking about past relationships and how, the main point is do everything you can. Always put your best effort into trying to be with a certain someone because you never know if it could work or not.
Yeah.
Even though most of the time it will fail, as it did for obviously me and James. It's never
But we
hurts to
went
try.
out and tried to see if it did work. That's like the moral. Like, don't be. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. And like I'll talk about it like next episode. That relationship that I was in, I never thought I was gonna get with her. I never thought I had a chance with her, and we ended up getting together. And we lasted for a while. It didn't work out yet, but it worked. It worked for a good minute. And the thing is, too, it's like you have to put yourself out there in high school, right? If you want you, I rather hear a no than think a no. Let's just put it at that because you want to put yourself out there like you may not think you have a chance, but then you find out, oh my gosh, she's been crushing over me for what now, like 2 months, and I didn't do anything. And you go back, like I think back in like middle school and high school, like thinking back, like some of the chances I could have had if I just would have taken the risk. And life is all about taking risks. You only have one life, and it's so hard to navigate, but you have to learn firsthand and all your like your lessons and experiences. You have to learn. You only get one life, and you don't know what's after it. You don't know if you will ever get a chance. So you have to put yourself out there and shoot for the stars. And if you're one of those type of people who like really like this one person you meet in kindergarten and you want to be with the rest of your life, go after them. Don't stop trying. Yeah, it's like you don't want to regret the rest of your life 80, 90 years old like, why didn't I get with this girl in high school? We could have been high school sweethearts and we could still be together right now. You only have one life. Take the risk. Go out there, like YOLO. Like, and I'm not just talking about relationships in general. Like live your life. Like you're for 18 years of your life, you're under your parents' roof or whatever situation that you're in. Then you're 18 and you're living like you're an adult. And in some cases, it goes into 21, college, but you still got like 40, 50 years of your life at least. And, live it, take experience. You're not like me. I know I want to get married pretty early and have a family early. But for you guys out there, like, live your life. Like, shoot your shot. Like, she's out of your league. Shoot your shot still. I got to know from her. I didn't just think, like, I just didn't, like, not take the chance. And, like, that's, like, the moral of this whole thing. It's like, you go out and you take a chance.
And I mean, here's the thing too with that. you know, going along, take risks. You never know what's gonna happen because the biggest fear is not knowing something until you try it. That's basically what the purpose of this is. You know, if you don't bother to try something, you'll never know the outcome of it, and you might end up regretting it in the future.
Yeah, and like I said, like I've told my friends, like, I don't think this relationship's gonna work. I think you should end it now. They didn't listen to me because in their nature, in their human nature, they got to experience that themselves. Like, if somebody tells you, like, I can't think of an example right now, but somebody tells you don't do something, you're a kid, right? What are you gonna do? You're gonna end up doing it. Until you figure it out, you're gonna end up doing it. You know, you know, you're gonna end up doing it. As a kid, you're good. Your parents can tell you not to do something, you're gonna do it, and that's your human nature because you need to know it for yourself. And that's just the moral of everything. And with, uh, you know, navigating through teenage years with, with like heartbreaks, with started relationships. That's what you got. Which you got to take risks, and that's really what the moral is. And so, but that's it for us today. Uh, make sure you put your questions in the comments. You guys have any questions or any experiences that you're facing, we'll get as soon as possible to answer those. Um, we're gonna be but stay tuned. We're trying to grow as a podcast. We're trying to speak for the young teenagers out there. And but that's it for today. I'm James.
I'm Ray.
That's Brian, and we'll catch you guys later. Peace, positive vibes. Stay blessed.